The name of the police department is the Laramie City Police Department in Laramie, Wyoming.
Okay, and the second department?
Is the Albany County Sheriff's Department, also in Laramie, Wyoming.
Okay, and what kind of problems have they caused you? Why did you feel you needed to file a complaint?
I had called a month ago, or about 3 weeks ago, to file a trespass complaint against my ex-girlfriend, and they visited with her and told me they gave her a trespass warning. And then yesterday, or the day before yesterday, when I called them, because she'd been in violation of this trespass warning, they told me there was no such trespass warning and nothing could be done or would be done.
Okay. And what happened beyond that? Was that the extent of it?
I called to speak with the supervising deputy in charge that night, and he proceeded to tell me that he's not going to help me. He's not going to do anything for me. My best bet is to stay away from town because if I come back, I will be railroaded.
Well, when he said railroaded, was he implying that he might have you arrested?
Yes, he was. He told me if I crossed the county line, I would get arrested.
And do you have any warrants out for your arrest? Is there anything that you've done that would allow him to do that?
I took possession of my son. We don't have a custody agreement, and so as far as I'm aware, there is no such thing as kidnapping, but he said I would be charged with kidnapping.
Okay, let me make sure I understand this. Kidnapping is a pretty serious offense. So,
yes, it is.
Do you know if he's actually done anything to take steps towards getting a court to stand behind this, like taking this to court to get a warrant, or if he's issued any sort of an arrest warrant against you?
I have no idea. I've been laying pretty low since that happened because, I don't want to go to jail and I don't want my son to see me arrested.
Mm-hmm. Okay. It sounds, based on what you've told me, the police cannot issue some sort of a, general statement of where you cannot go without some court to stand behind it. And if they haven't started a criminal investigation that is tied to an actual kidnapping charge that would be certified by a court, they've got some problems. First of all, so you have not gone to court in some sort of a custody exchange where the court has said the kid gets, the dad has primary custody or the mom has primary custody. Nothing like that has happened.
Nothing like that has happened, not yet, no.
Okay. And you've had access and control of your son before this?
Yes.
Okay. And do you take care of your son and provide him everything he needs, food, whatever he needs, child care?
Yeah, I'm the only working parent. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So
I'm the homeowner. I'm the guy who pays for the cars, the food, the bills, everything.
Okay. And your ex lives in Laramie?
Yes.
Okay. You mentioned something else to me that was a bit troubling. You said that you think that her friendships or relationships with these officers is giving her some extra, power that she should not normally have. You describe that for me. Why do you think that they're doing things for her that they wouldn't otherwise do for a regular citizen?
Well, I know that anytime I've ever had an encounter with the police department, within 20 minutes, her mother knows about it. And she gets a phone call from Officer Al Rich, who's her son's best friend, and he calls and he tells everything about it. And he justifies it by saying it's all public record. And that's fine, whatever.
So he's let me back up. So he's been calling your son's mother's, the grandmother, and reporting in on you and giving them information every time you have an encounter with the police?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's definitely inappropriate. Whether it's public record or not makes no difference.
Right.
Okay. Well, let me tell you, based on what you've told me so far, I do think you have grounds for an unprofessional conduct complaint. Again, is his name Alred?
Alan Rich.
Alan Rich. You have an unprofessional standard complaint against that gentleman, and certainly some questions need to be asked about the sergeant who gave you this blanket order not to come into town. I mean, if they have a legitimate reason to arrest you, they can go anywhere. It doesn't have to be that you cross the county line. They can go get you wherever you are. But to tell you that as a threat just to obstruct your travel, I think is inappropriate. So you do have grounds for a complaint, and we will stand behind it. Okay. All right. What we're going to do is I'm going to stop the recording here. Is there anything else you want to tell me before I turn the recorder off?
Yes, sir. 3 weeks ago, I called and to make a report of my ex being in my house and to please escort her out because she threatened to, she was telling me she was arming herself and that she was going to destroy my house on the way out the door. So I called the sheriff's department and they went and visited her, and the sheriff called me back, said there's nothing we can do. And I said, she's been diagnosed post-traumatic stress disorder and bipolar, and she has a tendency to freak out and get violent. And I would like you to go back and check on that. And so he went back and checked on it, and then he called me and said he gave her a trespass warning, and she would not be allowed back on the property. 2 days ago when I called them, because she had been back on the property, they said there was no such trespass warning, and there was nothing they were going to do about it.
Okay, one of the things you might want to do that we could perhaps help you with is you do need to submit what's called a FOIA request, a Freedom of Information Act request, asking for all records related to your complaints, meaning anything with your name on it, her name on it, your son's name on it, that's in the public record that the police have preserved from previous contacts with your family. And if they told you that or they didn't do that, then we need to find out whether or not that's true. So let's do this. I'll have more to say to you shortly.